What's up, everybody? Prince Artemis here, and today I'm going to be starting a new series talking about some of the screwed up shit from my past experiences in school, and hopefully in the future I'll talk about other things. But this is our first episode, and today we're going to be focusing on junior high. Now let me look at the good old script here, and yes, your good friend Prince Artemis is not doing this unscripted. I am following a script of 3 words to remind me what to talk about. Alright, first, we're going to be talking about my 7th grade science teacher. Now, her name will not be mentioned here, but we're going to call her, we're going to reverse her name. Her name is Mrs. Burnwash. And if you went to Pocahontas School District with me, you'll know who I'm talking about. You know, she was about 5'8", same height as me, really. And the thing about her was she was a little too laid back at times, and then she would just do a complete 180 and be all, like, serious. You know, it was really tough for everybody, because at that time when we first started to junior high in the 7th grade, the phone policies were extremely strict, and heck, I didn't even have a phone till after Christmas that year. But my good friend Allison, who I have been friends with her since 5th grade, this happened in Miss Washburn's room, okay? And her phone goes off. And Miss Washburn's like, "Whose phone was that? I heard a phone over in this area." She points over to all of us, and she narrows her eyes at Allison, because Allison knows it was her ringtone. And it was a message from Allison's mom wishing her a happy birthday. And she just outstretches her hand with her nasty, looking fingernails like, "I'm gonna need your phone." Yeah. And, Allison ended up getting fucking Saturday school for that. That wasn't right at all. I thought that was a little screwed up. It was her birthday, and, we'll get to, who gave her that punishment. But also, Miss Washburn did not like me very much. I will say that right now. Me and good old Micah Rogers were the mischief makers in that room. Well, more so him than me. Now, I remember I got sent out for not doing homework because I wasn't there. Because I would get sick a lot during junior high. I had a very weak immune system at the time, and she loved sending me to lunch detention because I would miss. And she didn't scare. "Well, that's no excuse." Nya, 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 nya. That type of teacher. Alright. Now we're going to move on to one that might take up the majority of the video, but I don't care. This is Miss Frito. I'm going to mix up the names so I don't face any backlash, but Miss Frito ran the study hall from my 7th grade year to my 9th grade year. All the way through junior high for me. And God forbid if she catches you sleeping in her classroom. I got sent to the office at least 5 times. Well, I actually didn't really have study hall in the 9th grade, now that I think about it. I only had it in 7th and 8th. And I got sent out of the office 5 times for just putting my head down. Actually, one of those 5 times, I didn't even put my head down. I had a long night the other night. Got back from Little Rock from a family trip, and I was dozing off, and I just closed my eyes for 5 seconds, and I hear like, "Are you slipping over there?" And I'm like, "No, get your butt over there now, baby." And that was the routine. Heck, I remember she sent me to the office once for leaving my hat in her room. Like, the next day she's like, "Whose hat is this?" And she raises up like a little hat with the NES controller on it, and I sluggishly raise my hand. She's like, "Get to the office." And, now this other time I did fall asleep, but it was not in her room. I fell asleep in the library. I just didn't feel very good that day. I closed my eyes, and my actual uncle, and he's half brothers with my sister, and he's like 2 grades above me. He's in 9th grade while I'm in 7th. I'm like, "Hey, dude, don't fall asleep in here. You don't want Miss Free to catch you." I'm like, "Okay." I doze back off, and I hear someone slap my foot. I feel it, and I'm like, "Get up and get to the office." It's Miss Frida, and she's looming over me like a damn hippo looking for its next meal. I'm like, okay. Oh, and then there was this one time I was doing a presentation on ancient Egypt. and I was looking for like stylized picture of Anubis, the god of death. And a girl looks over at my computer, because we had very few desktop computers in there to work on, and this is before schools all got Chromebooks and crap, okay? And she's like, he's not even working, he's just looking at pictures. And she runs off and goes to get Miss Frida, and Miss Frida comes storming back and like, what do you think you're doing? Doing a paper on ancient Egypt. And this was like in 7th grade also. Yeah, 7th grade year kind of sucked for me. And she's like, you're not working, you're just looking at pictures. And I didn't even feel like arguing. I just went to the office, and I didn't really get in trouble, but I asked to go to detention just for those 2 hours I had with her, because I didn't want to be around her, and they granted my wish. God, but study hall was pretty good. I mean, you couldn't get your phone out, but whatever, you know, I had books and Chromebooks later on in 9th grade, so I had some pretty great teachers then. Trying to think if there's any more stories about Miss Frida. Oh, there was this one time. Now, this wasn't with me. Oh, man. I remember Dennis Duran. He was this crazy Mexican kid that was in our 7th and 8th grade class. And he was just talking loudly in the back of the classroom. And she looks over, she's like, excuse me, quiet down back there. And he's like, shoulda. And man, good God, I have never seen a teacher that angry before. She's like, excuse me? He's like, shut up. And he went to the office, and Miss Frida didn't even want him coming back to the... Miss Frito didn't want him coming back to the classroom. All right, let's move things along to the vice principal. Now, if you went to Pocahontas Junior High with me, you know exactly who I'm about to talk about. And his name is... Now, he was also a girls basketball coach, so... His name is Coach David. And Coach David did not like me very much, because during 7th and 8th grade, I was in his office quite a bit for some of the stupidest things. Like, one time, me and my friend Micah Rogers got in trouble for throwing snow at each other. It was really ice. I didn't even throw anything back. He threw a big chunk at me, and guess who else got in trouble for insinuating the fight? Me! And I didn't even throw anything back. Isn't that swell? And it didn't really help. Me and Micah started the whole Coach Hitler, nickname for him, because the way his mustache was, on the edges it was silver, and in the middle it was really dark black, so he really looked like Hitler. And he even had the hair to do it, And whenever you go into his room and you're sitting there and he's not in there yet, you just look around the walls at all this stuff, and man, one wall is just completely covered with the Andy Griffith Show memorabilia. He even has like a script for the first episode signed by the entire cast. I'm like, now that's dedication to a show. I remember the very first time I went into his office, it was for something I did in a different part of the school year. It was like 6th grade, which is not, junior high. That's still like, I don't know if I should call it grade school or middle school, but it was 6th grade. It was not junior high. And it was a little problem on the bus I had with another student that got almost physical. And, she kept saying I said stuff to her, and Coach Davison, or whatever, tried to put the blame on me. And, when he told my mom that, he could barely get a word in when he said, we're going to need to suspend your son off the bus for 3 days. Man, after that, he could barely get in a word, because I heard my mom going, you stupid son of a bitch, my son didn't do anything. Well, I did it a year prior, so I honest to God did not remember if I did anything or not. And she's like, you stupid son of a bitch, you don't know nothing. How about you do your freaking job and do a different discipline? Don't you know we're hard-working parents that can't afford all that? And he's like, ma'am, barely getting a word out. But the one thing I hated about him most was that shit-eating grin he would always have when you were in his office. And one time, he almost took me to the office for something a different kid with my name did, and he just assumed I did it, which was that's screwed up. Honestly, I have loads more stories to tell about the faculty at Pocahontas High School and Pocahontas Junior High, but for all intents and purposes, I loved my time there. I wouldn't trade it for anything else. All right, well, that's it for the video, everybody. Subscribe and click that like button.